Soundstripe.
Snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
And we're rolling. Okay, Rick, we've had a lot of technical fucking difficulties trying to get this thing going.
Man. Hey, can you understand my English okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Me too.
Okay. Yeah, no. So we are here with Shell. Shell's behind producing right now. She works in sound with movies and right now that's who we're talking to. If you notice us like looking over there talking to someone, there's someone behind the actual computer. Hey, Rick, let's just get right into it. Vicariously Thru Bruce. How did that form? I'm always curious because from my perspective, Rick's my cousin. He's older than me by like quite a bit. He used to literally pick me up as a child, and but I remember my mom told me, oh, Rick's in a band, but she did it in like classic Chinese mom way, like oh, Rick's in a band, like kind of like oh, like the boys are in a band. I'm like, Rick's like not a kid, mom. Like, so this is probably a real band. Then she's like, yeah, it's at a place called Verns. And then we're like, oh, okay. Yeah. So then we all showed up. And then for real, I saw you rocking out. And I always knew you were into like music and stuff. But I saw that time I saw the performance and I was like, this is legit. So anyway, like, how did that form? How long have you been doing it? What was the inspiration? And take it away.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't know that story with your mom. And thinking back now, Zafira, our very first drummer, our little niece.
Oh, that's right. Zafira was your drummer. I remember Zafira.
Original drummer. She was.
I actually don't know how she's related to me now because I get confused with the tree. Either. But yeah, okay. So our niece, we will say.
Okay. So she was drumming for us for the first 2 shows, and then she had to go on a visa or go on something kind of trip because of her visa.
That's right.
Yeah. How we formed by accident. I was in another band. And I was in a band with our current bass player. Terrible name for the band. It was called Twisted Metal Days. It was my experience, my first experience in a band. So I was grateful for that. But with that, I was previously married to a Filipino girl, as you know.
Yeah.
And right around that time, they had a typhoon in the Philippines. And so we thought that maybe we should put a little relief fundraiser for that.
So Rick, was this always for fun with Twisted Metal Days?
Oh shit!
Or was there like were you guys trying to like I don't know get your music out there and
not
monetize it?
I never imagined to do this. That was just the experience and.
Well, how serious did you guys take it?
Was never. It like we still don't actually. There's no delusions that we're going to become rock stars. None whatsoever.
No, but how often do you guys practice then? I guess that the real question
we
is.
We don't practice that often. I mean. We've been around for 10 years, and I got to tell you, we're playing the same shit for the last 10 years because we've been playing these shows. I mean, we've added songs. We've probably got about 40 songs worth now.
Okay, wait. So are we still talking about Twisted Metal Days or Vicariously Thru Bruce?
No.
So we just kind of jumped over to...
Twisted Metal Days is how I met the bass player. His name is Mike.
Okay, Mike.
Mike and his son Wyatt are in the band, and the drummer currently is Raj Lau. And
it's Raj. Yeah, I met Raj.
Yeah, you met Raj.
His last name's Lau.
Lau.
Is he half Chinese?
Lall. No,
Lall. Okay. Oh, because Lau is the Chinese last name Lau, and there's a very famous Chinese celebrity. I don't know his English name, but yeah, his last name's Lau.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think I know who you're talking about.
He's super famous, dude.
I don't know, man. They all look the same to me.
Lau Dapwan.
No. Is he a movie star?
Dude, he's in everywhere. Like we go over there. That's like maybe Tom Cruise over there.
Maybe if I saw him.
Okay, yeah, anyway. Yeah. Okay. He doesn't know
what we need
but whatever.
Need some kind of our own laptop. So bang, pull him up. And
I know. I don't have a young Jamie from I just have Shell, but I don't know. No, don't do it right now. I don't want to mess with the recording anymore. If this is even recording. Either way, like I said, I want to chat. This is what I would have asked you anyway if I never had a podcast because I never got a chance to. We always just meet at family gatherings, and it's always quick 1-2, like how you doing, a couple of jokes, a couple of smokes, and then bye, right?
Yeah. So okay, we decided to put. Oh shit! Yeah, that happened. I totally forgot about that. Twisted Metal Days is how I met Mike. Mike brought me into another band called, and this is a terrible name too, the Bad Boys of Bedlam.
Bad Boys of
and
Bedlam.
It's through that band actually that I got some experience being on stage, and they had gigs, and it was like crazy for me because I wasn't doing any of that.
What was your role in the band? You sing. You're the singer.
No,
right?
not in that band.
Okay.
We had Axl Rose as our singer there, and if you ever look up the band, you'll see
like
why
the
I said
actual
that.
Axl.
Almost. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I think you're.
I'm telling you, man. At least he thinks he is, anyhow.
Okay.
So we played
Sorry,
a few
I got
shows
confused.
with them.
I took it literal for a second.
I played a few shows with them, and then it was that band, and then we put Vicariously Thru Bruce together to put a 2-band bill for the Philippines Fund Relief show 10 years ago this December. So this is actually our 10-year anniversary.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah,
we put the band together for one show. That was it. That's what we thought we would do. Never thought we'd be still here. After that show, we got a call, and then we got another call, and here we are.
Fuck, that was 10 years ago. I was just doing math while you were like, yeah, because I remember our cousin from Ireland coming down, and now that was 10 years ago.
Correct.
But I remember that like yesterday because he left such an impression on me that I still talk to cousin Ray to this day. And but I can't believe that was 10 years ago now. Like time really fucking flies.
Well, Ray came in for Alan's wedding, right?
Well, he was here a year before that. Our family tree story is kind of intriguing, but that we'll save that after you talk about Vicariously Thru Bruce, because I really want to focus on like how you like got back into rock, like got into that, and because when you were rocking out, it seemed like you were doing it forever. That's what I was trying to say. Like I was like, oh wow, like why did you ever have a job as a commercial real estate guy when you could have been doing this? And you guys have a unique look, you know, and also it's like, I don't know, I think it would have popped off, especially with Chinese people that are Chinese Canadians that also enjoy rock and punk rock or like heavy metal or just, you know, that kind of scene. Because who's a famous Chinese Canadian rocker?
Elvis.
What? Your ability to tell.
Isn't he Chinese and Canadian?
I don't know anymore. Okay, go on.
I think we, like I said earlier, just never took it that seriously, right? We just want to go out and have a good time. And we figure if we're having a good time, then everybody else in the room should be having a good time too.
Alcohol helps.
Alcohol definitely helps for both sides. I think also the music we play is a little different than just a typical cover band, because we do mash songs, we do change them up, kind of punk them up, or change the lyrics to whatever we feel like at the time. So
give me an example of like something you switched up, and did you get permission from the artist?
No, because I figured if we do get in trouble and they do come after us one way or another, that would be press, right? No such thing as bad press.
Well, you're on the Kaks Bar podcast, and I hope to blow up huge. So this will be in the archives for someone to come at you later.
I know a lot about copyright.
Okay, good. Well,
but go on.
We'll see. Hopefully,
why
we do.
Why don't you sing one of the lyrics that you altered? Like, what was the original one? And then, because you remember The Simpsons? There was that scene with the Red Hot Chili Peppers where that song, like, give it away, give it away now. Like,
which we covered.
It was like it was a derogatory verse that they had, like, what I got, you want to get and put it in you. And then Krusty the Clown was like, how about let's change the lyrics to what I really want is to love and hug and kiss you. Like,
right.
You remember
I
that?
remember that.
Yeah. So,
and now that you bring
kind of
that
stuff
up,
you guys did?
I'm going to totally bring up that episode. I'm going to learn the lyrics, the Krusty lyrics. I'm going to sing those lyrics for the next show.
It's very PG, actually. Yeah.
Okay. No, that'll be perfect. Thanks for reminding me of that. So to foreshadow, that would be an example of how we would change things.
Okay. Can you sing some of the lyrics?
Oh,
I want to know. Like, you're the singer.
I'm not the full-time singer.
Oh, what?
Wyatt, the son of Mike, who initially wasn't actually supposed to be in the band. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike was just like, hey, do you think you could jam with us? He's just kind of learning and so forth. And I said, yeah, it's no problem. What we did was we started in September and gave ourselves a deadline, December 9th. Booked the show, and I have to correct you on that. It wasn't at Verns. It was the Lord Nelson. It was the very first show.
Okay. I don't think I made it to that one then.
Oh,
the one I went to was Verns. Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But go on. So you did multiple shows at that point.
Yeah, by the time we hit Verns, it was probably I don't know, our third or fourth show, I'm guessing.
Okay, so
Back then.
that makes sense because you probably didn't want all the family to show up when you guys were doing
all
your
the family
first one.
did show up.
Okay,
the very
I guess
first
I didn't
show.
make that. Well, I was also always bartending or something, so maybe the nights didn't match or something like that.
I remember we
Actually,
saw
you know what?
posters from that show, and we charged $4.20 for the entrance fee, and kind of had to explain that to your folks about
$4
that. And 20 cents.
They argued it.
No,
Okay,
just what
because
the
I'm like,
meaning
that's
of the
not cool.
420 was.
Oh, 420. Oh man, yeah. The whole weed thing with my family is hilarious. My mom is she's such a like classic Chinese mom, like good-hearted, like just she had no concept of how weed even worked. She thought you injected it. It was a whole thing in high school when I.
So I went
Mom,
to test that
did
with my
marijuana.
dad, right? You know, my dad, who was like athlete, not smoker, drink nothing, right?
Yeah.
So we were all
way
sitting
back in the day.
we were having a fire at Wilson's house,
Mhm.
and my folks were there. So I thought, now that weed was legal, and I kind of started a business that was in that, not started, but was involved in the business that was in that,
like you were
in that space.
You got into cannabis,
the real estate side of cannabis.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So helping cannabis stores find their spots.
At the time, it was very early. So what we were doing, we were looking at warehouses, giant warehouses, and you actually have to rebuild a building inside this warehouse to grow. So after you buy this warehouse, you got to put about the same amount of money you spent into
like
buying
lights and this and that.
Most half of that cost is security, actually. Security for it, and then the other half is in building it so that you can grow weed.
Is it because of still the black market? You're scared that people are going to come
this was all when it was starting to become legal.
Yeah, but what do you mean by security? Why do you have to secure
security
legal operation?
In vaults, in cameras, in fencing, in just securing the premises.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I get like maybe I'm over analyzing this, but I'm saying why do you have to be that secure for that? Like even liquor stores aren't like in vaults, like it's gold. Like you're just going to make more. It's not like it's a product that's like actual gold like that. I'm like, yeah, get some fucking
that
security.
Is a question you have to ask the government. Okay.
Frankly, these were laws they put.
These are stipulations that were put in place before you can get approval.
Okay. Never mind. Carry on. I'm learning a lot. I really am. Go on.
Yeah.
Wow. They just like they probably sat in a room. They're like, how to make this legal? More regulation. You guys need vaults and this and that. It's like, okay.
I mean, I have a whole opinion about that. This should be a completely different podcast all in itself.
We'll save it for the one that's actually recording.
It is recording.
Okay. It's on you, Shell, if it's not recording. You said you worked in sound, man. Okay, go on, Rick. Vicariously Through Bruce, selling weed on the side, influencing our young niece to join your ways and your lifestyle. Okay, you sound like a real gem right now.
I know you put it that way. Saphira only lasted for a few shows.
Why was that? Did she quit or
no? She had to leave the country.
Oh, okay, good. Right? So it wasn't like classic band
No.
stories where like she like she got addicted to heroin, man, and we had to like boot her out of there because she wasn't making all the dates.
No, not with Saphira. Anyways, but we kind of had, we're not as far as heroin, but we do have stories like that. We break up every year. But yeah, truly, and myself too, and they all know this. I've said this to everyone in the band. We're just sick of it, really. At this time, like I said, playing the same songs over the last 10 years, and it gets that way because you end up getting shows, and then you're just kind of rehearsing the same songs because you don't have time to add new songs. So it got
because everyone in your band has like families and careers and actual more regular lives.
Yeah,
right?
Nobody takes this. Again, we're not thinking we're gonna get famous or rich or
you do it because you love
like that. We do it because it's fun, and it's still crazy to receive money for doing it at the end of the show. Every time at the end of every show, and they give us cash, it still blows my mind.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying because it'd be like because you loved basketball growing up, and I played a lot of basketball growing up. It would be like all of a sudden, like we got together to go do a pickup game, but we get paid for it. Even if it's a couple $100, we're like, wow, like may as well, right?
When we first started playing Verns, it was we made as little as $40 and as much as $120, and not each, like the entire 4 guys.
Okay.
And we used to take that money and go to Denny's after, and have a meal as a band. Things have gotten better.
Yeah, I don't even know if that covers that now in this expensive fucking market we're in.
There's that
Jesus. Okay, go on. Go on.
So, but yeah, things have changed a little bit now. We actually just got back together. We took about a 6 or 8 month hiatus there because everybody was sick of each other.
That happens.
And then we got a call for a show, and then everybody realized, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't going away, right? Like we've kind of played some places here now, and we will get called back. So, you know, everybody will go off and do their own thing, which is absolutely encouraged. I think that is a good way to grow and expand and bring new ideas back to what we're doing.
Okay, so have you? How many songs do you guys have?
Probably close to 40. But if you mash them, so we'll play 3 songs in one song, right? So if you kind of add them all up that way, I don't know. So for example,
high side, low side. How many songs? Like if we had to
35 to 45.
Okay, so you have roughly 5 albums in a way if you wanted to.
Well, these are cover songs, but we're
tweaked enough that
right.
Okay.
And we probably have about 4 or 5 originals, maybe more, but we never really paid any attention to that because it doesn't pay to go out and play just your original music to a crowd unless it's really good. And those gigs are just, you know, sometimes I think we have more fun playing these other gigs. Crowds are more excited when they hear a song they know, or they can dance to the song.
What is the biggest crowd you guys played for? Because that night at Verns, I remember, I think the room still had 60 people, something like that. And if it's 60 people, and I gauge that number because our bar at Kaks seats 60, capacity is 100. But even with our small square footage, if 60 people are in here, it feels packed. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, way back in the day, we played a show at the Lord Nelson, because they were closing down. And that was a big show there. That was a packed night.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I don't know.
All right. Okay, but
apparently we played the Unicorn one night, and 200 people had come through the night.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if there was ever 200 in there, but 200 came through.
So. Okay, sweet. Yeah, honestly, that's a bit of an accomplishment because, you know, there's so many musicians out there now. I know so many people who are aspiring musicians. They have their shit now on Spotify and YouTube, and you know, and just like Kaks right now, we're just trying to grow our show, our channel, this thing. So, but you always I notice they're always stuck at that level, and if you're at least getting that 200 range, then that is mad props. You know?
I wouldn't say that is every show. We played to 3 people too, right? But we try to maintain. I mean, we said this long ago. You know, 3,000 or 3,000 people. We're gonna have the same show, so it shouldn't matter. And usually we have to have a few drinks to get to that kind of mentality too.
I was just doing a little chuckle there because you remember Swollen Members, that band?
So I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, they were huge at one point, huge. We're talking about playing in the Juno Awards and shit.
Right.
And then I was at a club bartending. I'd been in this club for a while. I'm not going to name it because I'm not even sure if I should or I can anymore. But one night my boss was like, "Hey, you got to work Sunday," and I'm like, "We're not open Sundays." He's like, "We got a big guest coming through," and then I'm like, "All right, who is it?" And he's like, "Swollen Members."
I know.
And then I was thinking in my head, I was like, "Swollen Members, those guys are huge." He's like, "Yeah, it's funny how things fade fast, but." Anyway, they actually need us to help them sell tickets. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Mad Child and the other guy need me to help? So we got a handful of these tickets. And I tried to advertise it, but it's so weird how everyone was people just forgot how awesome they were. Because they had some good songs that were I remember though, long story short, they came out on stage, man, there was 5 people in there. In the crowd, but we had more staff than them. But they just rocked out as if there's 1,000 people in there, and they didn't care. So then I kind of learned a little bit about that. You can't, not that I'm a musician, but if you're a performer, you got to do the same performance no matter what, even if there's no one there. The idea is that you're doing it that's who you are, right?
That's exactly it. I mean, I'm not a real musician either. Frankly, I don't consider myself one there. I know my limitations as a musician. But
Mad Child is actually even shorter in real life than they let on. Mad Child, the lead singer of Swollen Members, he's short, but he's like even shorter in real life. Not a diss, because there's a lot of like cool short people, but
sure.
I
had a great cool short
DJ
DJ in our band to begin with. He was a little person, and he was my ex-wife's cousin, and he was a great DJ. And
but Mad Child's was proportionate short. Like it's like he's just. I'm like, wow, you're like the lowest weight class in the UFC is 125. Like you must be below even that. But anyway, whatever. Go on.
What's the newest song you're trying to master?
Well, Shell doesn't have a mic, but she's asking what's the newest song Rick's trying to master here. Actually, we might have heard you a little bit.
What are we trying to master? We're not really, because we had when did we play? We played back in March, and we had a couple of songs that we tried to get in. 3 songs that we tried to get in for this. We just had a show on the 20th of May. Is that right? Anyways, a couple weeks ago at the Unicorn. And for that show, we tried to get No One Knows from what's that band called again? Jesus.
You don't even know the cover band? Oh, no, I'm just joking. I don't know. I'm not the one to talk. I'll forget people's names now.
Queens of Stone Age.
Oh, okay.
No One Knows. Suspicious Minds.
All right.
That Chinese Elvis guy. And Gold Digger.
You're gonna say, and I'm gonna.
Well,
hold up.
What do you mean? Well, the Gold
Shell,
Digger.
The audience can't hear you talk, so it's just gonna be
the original.
Okay.
Well, we weren't doing the original though. We were. Of course, we all know who that is from.
And who is it?
Okay.
Well, if you could
I might
see.
I might have to cut this whole part out just because, again, like the audience can't hear Shell.
Okay.
So, like, Shell's literally talking to Rick right now, like, because she's like engaged in the conversation, but she doesn't have a mic. So now it sounds like Rick's talking to himself. Anyway, I might keep
Ray
this.
Charles,
we'll
Shawn, just to appease your question there. Yeah. But we're doing the Kanye West version, and actually, I have a thought of how to maybe mash another Kanye song into Gold Digger for the next show. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of an a cappella intro to Gold Digger, and then we'll go into Gold Digger.
Okay, sick.
Yeah,
very
maybe
good.
We'll see. It popped in my head yesterday, frankly, and we're jamming tomorrow.
Where are you guys jamming tomorrow? Should we plug it?
No, well, we're just jamming we're rehearsing tomorrow in our garage.
I get these podcasts out pretty right away. So
okay. Well,
so say you have a show at night, I can get this up by the morning.
June 23rd.
If anyone listens in the afternoon, I guess. Why don't you sing the original Gold Digger?
What? No, I'm not going to sing the original. What I did, I was thinking about.
Man, we should just give you a mic and you just jump in. But anyway.
What I was thinking about was if we did this again, I do want to plug.
Too late.
I do want to plug Wyatt, because Wyatt sings like nobody else. Really, we'll just sit on our balcony and jam, and people walk by and they can't see us, but he'll stop traffic.
Is Wyatt on Spotify or Apple or YouTube?
Wyatt is a weird nut. No, he's
in his own bathroom basically, and that's it.
No, he's not quite that way either. But he'll fall on that side occasionally. Wyatt is the sweetest kid.
Prodigy.
And just
okay. So it sounds like if you guys go see Vicariously Thru Bruce, you'll hear Wyatt. Apparently, Wyatt is very talented. I'm taking Rick's word for it. I've yet to see Wyatt, but I trust your judgment, because like I've enjoyed your shows. Not just saying that because you're my cousin. Like I genuinely was taken back by realizing, holy fuck, if you had just pursued your passions, maybe this entire thing would be different. This reality.
No. I mean, you should see us now. You've seen us a few years ago.
I'm coming
to
your show, your 10-year anniversary show, June 26th.
Well, we haven't even had one.
June 26th.
I'm thinking of having that 10-year anniversary show at Verns, because Verns is such a place for us, and we know the owners there. Is the date
still June 26th? Because that's what I have in my
June
calendar.
23rd is at. Can I see the other bar?
Yep.
Yeah, it's at Mikey's on 12.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Do you want people to know you work
there? That's June 23rd. And I happen to work there now, too.
So for the audience, Rick is actually a commercial realtor by trade. And then his music is his side gig. But he also now bartends at Mikey's on 12th. So you're there for like 5 nights a week? Or?
No, not at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never served or did anything like that previous to that.
Yeah.
I went in to book our band, and the manager there is friends with Wilson.
Yeah.
And he's just, and I knew him, of course, and he's like, I need a bartender. I said, well, fuck, I'll give it a try. And he's like, do you have your Pro Serve? And I was like, what the fuck is that? And he said, get your Pro Serve, get your Pro Tech, and I'll have to hire you. And so I did, and he did, and it's been about a year and a half. It was 2 years in August, and it's been fun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Very good. Either way, Rick's at Mikey's on 12th, I guess, 2 days a week?
On the weekends, Thursday nights.
Okay.
Thursday nights we have, I should plug this because the city, I think, is missing out on Thursday nights there because we have a guitar player that comes in and does Guitar Fight Club. And actually the whole band
Guitar
is good.
Fight Club?
Guitar Fight Club is basically just, it's an open jam, and you can come in, bring a guitar and drum sticks and bass, whatever you want to bring in, and you can get on stage and jam with these guys or bring your band in and showcase your band. But the guy that hosts this show used to play and tour with Asia. Sam Colson is his name, and the guy's unreal.
Okay.
And
is this kind of like rap battling almost? And someone judges
it's
who's
really
good?
just an open jam. It's an open jam.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, okay.
he is unreal.
Sweet.
And so people should just come and see that show in and of itself.
These are at Mikey's as well?
Mikey's every Thursday.
Every Thursday at 8. Shell also works at Mikey's, by the way. Go on.
So that's how I got the job there. It was booking the band, and then that happened. But yeah, never thought it would be still going. We put this band together for that one show, and we're still going, and it's been a fun ride.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, man. Like what the bar game, someone said this to me once, and I fully agree with it. The highs are high, and then the lows are low. You know, because you'll see some atrocious human behavior, and then you will reflect and be like, man, I totally did that too so many times. And then you'll see like the best jokes, the best like music, back you meet the coolest people, have like real good memories that will be singed in your mind forever. And yeah, I think the key is just to like get to that point where you can always have the highs, you know, and not get the low part, you know, just by making sure you're going to bars with the right people, you know, everyone's in a good headspace. Okay. And you're there to celebrate. The key is celebrate, not medicate. That's what I've realized. People hit up bars to medicate. It always ends pretty bad later. It's a matter of time.
Oh,
you're going there to celebrate and have a good time. It's like, what's better than that?
Yeah,
you know,
I've definitely been going to the bar to medicate a lot lately, and it's never ended good. But you know, I think
there goes my
theory.
My theory just been solidified.
So I know where you're coming from there.
Although, if you do need to come to Kaks Bar and Podcast to medicate, I'm a very good bar doctor, if you will.
I think I'm making that transition now, right? And this is actually closer to my place, so it works out better that way.
You want me to be your bar therapist? I basically already heard most of the issues. I think you know what to do.
I think
buy more alcohol.
There we go.
Support Kaks Bar and Podcast, a local new establishment, 1006 First Street, Southeast Calgary, Alberta. It's a shameless plug. Go on.
I'll tell you though, working at the bar, and that particular bar, because we do see so much live music there, has given me a total different appreciation for that whole scene too. Mm-hmm. A scene that I actually wasn't a part of, and still thought I was because I was playing shows. But there's a whole other scene out there that exists that I didn't know until I started working there.
What do you mean?
There is a bit of a circuit, and there is a bit of a community that goes around from open jam to open jam to open jam around the bar, around the city.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of really good musicians that are in that circuit.
Hey, let me ask you this. So it's kind of switching gears. We can segue back to Vicariously Thru Bruce and Mikey's and that in the musician scene. But what's it like? What do you think's going on with who makes it and who doesn't? Do you know what I'm asking? Because when you know how, like, for instance, we'll switch gears a little bit to sports. if you go to any urban neighborhood, you're going to see like a potential another Allen Iverson. But why did that person not make it? Why did he not get picked up? And then with music is the same thing, because I have so many friends that like they have bands too, like you, and they put it on Spotify. But and I'm sitting there telling people you should listen to this, and I listen to them, but for some reason it just gets lost in the abyss, and I get very confused with like, how do you not believe in God or a greater plan if you see like 10 talents? They're basically the fucking same, but then one gets the shine and everyone gravitates towards them, and next thing you know it, that person's life is a whole other thing. But when you get to the itty-bitty grittiness of like the art itself, I'm like, they're interchangeable. They're just as good as the guy next to them. And then I'm like, maybe it's something as simple as looks, but then I look and sometimes I'm like as an example, Justin Bieber's a handsome guy, don't get me wrong, but there's plenty of handsome little kids out there that can do what he did. Why was he? I believe there's a chosen aspect. I really do, because my brain, I'm like, but what do you think about that?
Well, Shawn.
Sorry, Shell. Okay, next time Shell will just jump on the podcast.
Sure, no, we will. I'm glad you asked that, and I actually think I'm a very well qualified person to answer this question, given that that I have a science degree in kinesiology. Okay?
Nerd.
Yeah,
go on.
So, and I like to fancy myself a little bit of a musician / performer. Okay,
you are.
So your question is, and I don't know that you can have the same answer for both, and this is why, because I think athleticism is more of a science, and I think music is more artistic, obviously, and more subjective. There is no debating who the best athletes are out there, okay? And because you'll see them on TV every night and they're getting paid the big bucks. Those are the elite of the elite. And those athletes were essentially born that way, to be that way, okay? With grooming, that talent, a basketball player that's 6'9" was born to be 6'9", to be a basketball player.
I'll give you an example. So remember And One mixtapes?
I do.
Like, those guys easily could have all, basically just observing their game, I'm like, each of those guys should have had a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Why weren't they discovered? And then someone's like, oh, they didn't even play in school, they dropped out of school. I'm like, Allen Iverson practically dropped out of school if you watch the documentary. It's just sometimes I'm like, God was like, you're going to make it. Because Allen Iverson got excused from crazy legal issues too.
I think in the end,
sometimes I just feel like the I guess all I'm trying to say is that there has to be a plan, because otherwise there's no reason why those all should not have made it, and we should not be enjoying their skills as well, if you know what I'm saying.
I think in those instances, I mean, Allen Iverson had what was that coach from Georgetown? What's his name again? Thompson?
He used to play in the NBA.
Yeah. He took him under his wing through Georgetown and through university and pulled him out of it. And Allen Iverson had a bum rap with what ultimately happened to him and how he was accused of what he did. And
so that was
all bullshit, right? As far as the N1 people, I think it was a game that was not suited to the people that were in power to make those decisions of where they would go. That game wasn't suited. Now, did somebody else could have, and there's a lot of ballers out there. There are so many, and only the elite make it to that level.
But I'm just relating it to music.
Music, that's harder to answer, I think. Okay, I think one of my most favorite artists out there is Tom Petty.
Oh yeah, that guy's awesome.
And you didn't know that? He is.
I'm more of a Celine Dion kind of guy. I do like Celine Dion.
I don't knock Celine.
Shout
Celine Dion almost brought tears to my eyes listening to one of her songs one time. She's a beautiful singer. But Tom Petty is one of my all-time favorites.
Song, you shit me? I work out to that shit.
Now, the songs Tom Petty writes, not overly complicated, not any songs that anybody who's ever picked up the guitar and learned those few chords, they can all play Tom Petty songs, right?
So he was chosen then. I don't know. I'm not looking for a firm answer here. It's just interesting to me because life has so many avenues to go, and people need their vehicles to go in those avenues. So, for instance, I'm podcasting now. I am in the podcasting vehicle, and I hope I make it. I feel like I'm a good podcaster. I feel like this conversation is flowing very well. I hope people enjoy it. And but there's only time will tell. And
Right.
you know, if I do this for 20 years or something, and you know, it doesn't get to where I thought it could, then I have to come to the conclusion that either I wasn't chosen by the greater purpose, or I'm actually not as good as I thought, and I've been living in delusion. But everyone who tells me they enjoy the show is just like trying to be nice to me. You know what I mean? Like that's my biggest curiosity with this venture. Now, only by doing it will I know the answer.
It is an it factor. There is an it
The it
factor,
factor.
right?
You summarize exactly what I'm saying. We could basically cut out like the last 20 minutes to say, do you believe in the it factor?
Right, right.
I will say one thing, and I can hear myself. So
Yeah, just talk loud. If you see yellow, that means we can actually hear you.
Yeah, I can hear.
Shell's talking.
So I'm saying that it's about believing in what you're doing, having passion for what you're doing. So if you do,
Check.
it will. And then also networking, right place, right time. And same with
Check.
bands. I love all of these things. Bands, film, most everything you do is about networking and being open-minded, and passionate, and not losing that passion. So if it doesn't go where you want now, you never give up on it. If you're really passionate.
Well, that's
truly
why I
passionate about it.
piggyback this business off the bar, because I'm like, at least there's this thing that connects to it
Right.
that has been time tested that works,
That's your base salary.
which is yes, good elevated pub food serving alcohol at 1006 First
Speaking
Street,
of
Calgary,
serving
Alberta.
Brilliant idea.
Hey, just grab a drink, Rick. Rick, just grab a drink. I can cut this part out.
They said they would bring.
Picking up where we left off after we went to grab some refreshments at Kaks Bar and Podcast, 1006 First Street, Southeast Calgary, Alberta. Menus at kaksbarpodcast.com. Another shameless plug. But, okay, so your life journey right now is taking you here, Rick. Gutsy move, by the way, leaving your drink on the couch. Like
I've been doing that all podcast.
as long as it doesn't spill. But, yeah, right now, Rick, so, okay, not to get too personal. Actually, why did we say that? I'm about to get personal.
Uh-oh.
But like many people say, they talk about that midlife crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like that's something
Absolutely.
happening or no?
In
Because
fact, that was the original name of this band, Midlife Crisis.
oh shit.
And then, okay, why don't you ask me how we came up with the name?
Yeah, I want to ask you that because
Sure.
like I love Bruce Lee. I'm a
Right.
martial arts guy. Like
Okay.
I trained my whole life up until about 5 years ago. But like yeah, like I love mixed martial arts, MMA, boxing, wrestling, karate, Muay Thai. I love lifting. I love using the body as a weapon, and like I've always been fascinated by it, even
You're
as a
scaring the shit out of
child.
me, man.
Sorry.
You're scaring the shit out of me.
No, dude, but I always loved that, man. Like I love Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Jet Li. Those are just the Asian martial artists. Like I follow MMA like crazy. I honestly believe I can do Joe Rogan's job right now. Like I'm like an encyclopedia with martial arts, and I trained. I never fought pro, but I know in my heart if I wanted to. I know it sounds dumb, but it's like, oh, if I wanted to, I could have. I think I could have did decent. And I recently had on an MMA fighter friend of mine. His name is G. Shout out G. G did take that route. He's similar age to me, and he fought 22 times. But after talking to G, I made the right decision because G left fighting like his body's mangled right now. He's like surgery after surgery, and he's just like he doesn't regret it, but he's like it takes a toll on your body. It's not like every other sport. And I remember the day I like decided this is something I do on the side. Unless I believe I could be world champion. And that's something I honestly said didn't believe in. I didn't believe I could actually beat BJ Penn, Matt Hughes, who else would have been in my weight class? Fucking George St. Pierre. I was just realistic. I'm like, my gut's already saying, no, you probably would be that guy that did 10, 15 fights. Your record probably would have been like 8-7 or something like, because I have holes in my game from not accruing the years of a lifestyle to attribute to that training, which is like something like wrestling. People don't realize it's super hard to pick up wrestling if you didn't do it as a kid because that sport is super conducive to morphing your body to doing those movements. Those movements are very taxing on your knees, lower back. And I remember I was more of a striking guy. But anyway, but Bruce Lee was always this insane fascination to have. I read his biography. I think Wilson has his old Jeet Kune Do book, the original one.
Sure, yeah.
And I know you're a fan, so shoot, what happened there? What were you even into martial arts? So you're not like a fighter type though. Like, so
no, I was more of a baller and a soccer player.
Yeah. So why Bruce Lee then? Or did you just love the Chinese nationalism?
I have two answers for this. One answer is the, get big rock star type of answer when I'm answering it on MTV and shit like that. The other is the actual.
Man, you dated the shit out of yourself. Like the younger audience will have no idea who MTV is, but go on.
The other answer is the actual answer.
Okay.
So what would you like to hear first?
Both. We got 10 minutes. It's your forum here.
So originally, the band name I thought could be Midlife Crisis because just that's what we're doing, right?
Taking the piss out of yourself.
But one guy I was jamming with at the time, we're in our garage, my garage, smoking a joint and jamming, talking about the band name. And this is the actual how we came up with it. I suggested Midlife Crisis, and he said, and he's only 28, and he's like, I'm not in my midlife crisis.
Is that Wyatt?
No, it isn't Wyatt. It was my now neighbor, which is a weird turn of events there too. But he was Wilson's neighbor, and that's how we met. And he played. He was fronting another band, so we just started jamming. His name is Ben. He was a younger kid. So instead of Midlife Crisis, I thought, okay, well, Vicariously Through Ben, because we would be living through Ben in our band, right?
Okay, because he's the youngest one.
Because he's the youngest one.
Oh.
And then he's like, well, I don't want to be the center of attention, blah, blah, blah. So I brainstormed again, and because there's so many syllables in that band name already,
BTB is a cool syllable, by the way. Anyway.
It had to be a one-syllable name, right? It couldn't be anything more than that because then it'd just be too long. So Bruce came up, and then the whole Bruce Lee thing just came naturally.
So it's not even for a love of Bruce Lee's as a martial artist.
Well, having said that, here's the rock star, and today's version of MTV, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Just
streaming,
streaming,
or
internet, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify.
So we all know how Bruce Lee, his martial arts is a bunch of martial arts.
It's the original MMA.
Together.
He's known as a godfather of MMA, according to Dana White.
And he's mixing all the different disciplines and creating something out of that, right? Well, I think if Bruce Lee were ever a musician or listen to music, that would be the type of music he would do, is take a song from here, and put it together and create a new song, right? And
like a genre mixing.
A genre mix, yeah. One song that was kind of inspirational to all of this is it's called Rock of Ages, and it's from DJ Schmoley. And
Isn't that a movie with Jack Black?
No, that's School of Rock.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a great movie.
The fuck were we both
Great
thinking
movie.
Anyway.
But pull it up one day.
Okay,
Rock of Ages, DJ Schmoley, and he mixes I don't know how many different songs in that song, and that inspired what we're doing. I always wanted to do that song live. Maybe impossible to do because there's so many different songs, but that is the whole theme of what we do. And my ADD doesn't allow me to listen to a song more than a minute or two without me getting tired and then I have to change something.
I think it's everyone now with TikTok and stuff.
Sure.
Okay, that explains that.
Or ADHD now.
Okay, pretty sweet.
So that's the long and short of it on how we came up with the name. 7 syllables, Vicariously Through Bruce. And also who else has 7 syllables? The Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I bet everyone started counting too.
So
whoa.
Fans of the Peppers cover their songs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to wind this down right now. Just we've been chatting for a good 45 minutes, minus all the cuts, I believe. But Rick, I'm going to have you on again. This podcast was not the way it should have been with all the technical fucking difficulties at the start. But your story for sure is not finished. There's more to tell. There's more like just things to talk about. But for now, I am going to stop it there. Your 10-year anniversary concert, is it June 26th?
Oh, jeez. No, I wouldn't actually call that 10-year anniversary thing. I haven't really even thought if we were going to do that at all. Biggest fear is having a 10-year party and then nobody shows up, right?
Okay. Well, either way, it's marked off my calendar. So what's the date?
June 23rd is just a show that we have at Mikey's. We were asked to play someone's birthday that night, and so we said, okay.
Okay. I'm going down on June 23rd. I'm going to triple check on my calendar because I have a feeling I wrote 26. But okay, June 23rd, Vicariously Thru Bruce is playing at Mikey's Pub on 12th. Okay, Google it, Mikey's Pub on 12th.
Yeah, Mikey's
Shell,
on 12th.
are you working that night?
I don't know what day of the week
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
No, I am gonna take it off. Go to the show.
Okay, so she's gonna be there. But anyway, if people are near that area, definitely come on down, check out Rick's band, and see me as well, checking out Rick's band.
Yeah,
and
we usually,
afterwards come down to Kaks Bar and podcast and
There
have
we
some
go,
drinks.
yeah.
It's very close. It's just skip and a hop, really.
it is actually.
Hop and skip.
Hop and a skip. Yes, yes.
And eat
Okay.
tacos.
I guarantee you it'll be a good time. We like to have a good time. We can't not have a good time. Otherwise, it just won't be a good time otherwise.
Exactly, exactly. It's good times to be had. And I can vouch. The time I went to Verns, it was a good time. I really enjoyed after just like hanging out with you guys in the alley there, smoking the marijuana, mom. Anyway,
Next show, I'll tell you about how I thought my car was on fire at the back of Verns one night.
hey, actually, I want to end on a quick little story. Speaking of one time we did hang out, Wilson's bachelor party when we played poker at the garage.
Yeah.
Someone slipped me salvia for sure that night.
What? Really?
Yes, because I took Alan ended up. My older brother ended up being in in the later rounds of the poker tournament. But I fucked off for a while, and I remember when I came to, I saw Wilson running down the street in a wedding dress. Yeah.
I think you're at the wrong
No.
stag party.
It wasn't like a nice wedding dress. I think it might have just been like a white, like apron, just like to make it look like he was in a wedding dress.
I don't even remember that.
No, I don't think anyone remembered anything if they all smoked what you guys gave me. But I just want to point out, at one point, I dipped out, went to Prince Island Park, and I went underneath a bench because I was freaking out real hard. And I remember I was like, so I'm wearing nice, like normal clothes. And I'm underneath the bench, and this couple came by with their dog, and they were like, "Son, are you okay?" But I remember like they literally looked. Remember that scene from Lord of the Rings when like Frodo and his boys were underneath that tree branch, and then like the fucking dark demon thing was over top. Like that's what these people looked like to me. But how I knew it was more than likely salvia was because it was over like that. Like I remember I came out of the haze as mid-sentence. They were like trying to help me up. But I remember they looked at me like, "You're not a homeless kid. You obviously," because I was put together. But I remember being like, "What the fuck was that?" Like I asked for a toke of weed, and like I ended up getting that. And I don't regret it. It was a trippy experience. But I remember coming back, and everyone was just like bonkers, fucked up. Who was outside? Who tossed around that thing that I thought was a joint or whatever. Anyway, thanks for being a good influence.
I'll have to tell you. And if you enjoyed salvia, I'll tell you the story of my
I
DMT
can't really
trip.
say I can't really say I enjoyed that. I did DMT as well.
Oh, you've done it.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, we should have a podcast.
I've actually talked about that story a bunch. That's kind of why I have the mushroom. But I know DMT mushrooms aren't the same. But like I've done the hero dose of mushrooms, the 7 gram, referenced by Terrence McKenna, and it is a life changer. I actually owe a lot of this who I am now, as you see, from that. And the DMT thing was just extra.
I think we should have a DMT party. Okay.
Yeah.
Where
I think oddly enough, it's not even hard to
I think
get.
it's going to be like before and after DMT. So you come in, you have a line of people here.
I don't know if we should film us high on it because it was very fucking weird. But
why is it? You should.
Yeah. You can tell we actually are
I
like,
think
whoa.
we should have a group of people that come in one door before DMT, try it, and then they exit another door.
You want me to send them into the bar like that? Come on, man. I'm trying to run a business here.
No, well, they have their DMT experience.
Let's
in
send
the
them
room,
out to
and
Prince
then they
Island
come
Park
up.
like the way you guys did for me. Fuck. No one took care of you, man. I'm like, where's my older cousin?
I
was just looking around like, I'm on my own.
that was just the prelude to the actual stag, right? We rented
I didn't make it to the actual stage.
We rented a cabin out in Sylvan Lake, brought up live bands and shit. It was a great weekend. It's a great weekend.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't invite you to Alan's one. That one got a bit crazy too. One of those, Rick, I gotta apologize. It was one of those that just slipped my mind. Like I remember midway through the party, I'm like, I didn't even tell Wilson and Rick about this. Like,
shit,
I remember I was like, fuck, I fucked up. And I was like, at the last minute, I was thinking about calling you guys, but as I looked at my watch, I'm like, it's fucking 2 a.m. Like I completely fucked this up. And then you gave me shit for it at the family gathering.
Did I?
Rightfully so. Yeah.
Jesus.
So sorry, and we can't rewind time because there's no way we're redoing that.
Maybe
night.
we'll all get married again one day. And
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Rick is Rick is
And
available.
We'll
people.
have a
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Okay,
everyone have a
thanks for
great
having
night.
me on,
Everyone have a
Shawn.
great
This
night.
was a
No,
lot of fun.
you'll be back for another one, but have a great night, guys. Okay, take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay, so